Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Monday Monster Movie. With me is Admiral Teague. Welcome back, Teague.
Hey, I just spoke to Mitch for 20 minutes.
Oh, really? Very
He's
lively,
doing
is he?
great. Well, you know what? It was Lindsay put him on the phone. Lindsay called me and he put Mitch on the phone. And we had like a three-way call. And for whatever reason, they said that wasn't the first time they'd had a three-way. I don't know what they meant by it. But yeah, no, I just talked to Mitch and he's doing good. He's with Lindsay now. Him and Lindsay are hanging
I'm
out.
sure they are together.
Guys, welcome. We
I'm not
got a
going to say
great
where
banging
they are
monster.
together, but I'm sure they're together now.
All we know is after having done an exhaustive search of every gay bar in Kentucky and where was Grinsey Lamb from South Carolina, there's
Yeah.
no report of either of them turning up. So yeah, they might just be gone. It might be true what they say. And you know what? The headline of the day, Germ, Elaine, ciao, ciao.
Hey,
Howdy,
hello,
buddy.
buddy.
Were we still live when we played the game of is it Alec Baldwin or Donald Trump with the Admiral Teague political opinions with the level of uninformedness? Well, isn't that always fun?
Yeah, I think that was a Rumble exclusive.
Was it a Rumble exclusive or was it? We might have been off the air, but like we basically did a reality test of what Admiral Teague does, and what my most current information was 15 weeks old.
Pretty close.
But I did know that I did know that old McConnell bought the farm because everyone knows that.
Yes. And, well, they haven't admitted it yet, unfortunately.
What did you think? We did like 10 spins. It came up with like six times it came out like Trump, and then like four responses could have been ascribed to Alec Baldwin. It was completely batshit crazy.
Very crazy.
And also, if you'll notice, you guys should sub and like and share Germ's show because my hair is much like Andrew Jackson's tonight. If you know, isn't it, Germ? Don't I look like a $20 bill guy tonight?
Yeah, a little bit.
This show is so good, we're going to record it. We've got a Godzilla movie for you that's to beat none. This is one of the best Godzilla movies released that year called Godzilla. Tell us why this movie is so much better than that year's other Godzilla movies.
Well, thankfully, this was the only Godzilla movie to come out in 2000.
You like how I set you up for that perfectly? There's no way you're going to screw that up. So
Unfortunately, this is after Godzilla 2000 Millennium, which they decided to treat as a special one-off launcher for the Millennium era. This movie does
sounds
not
more like a
continue from that.
Special Olympics.
This one is definitely a little bit Special Olympics. This is the lowest performing movie of the Millennium era. Quite frankly, it is the lowest performing Godzilla movie in about 20 years.
Considering what year it came out, I'm going to say that's the point where they start talking to people in the West and they're like, hey, legends, you want to do Godzilla? Hey, you guys, you want to do Godzilla? Like, he's for sale. We've got a Godzilla for sale, right? And that was basically what happened at that point. They're like, shit.
They decided to rework the Millennium series after this one.
Did they?
We got a retooled Batra.
Oh God.
Which they decided to call Megaguirus.
At this point, do you start to feel less angry about Godzilla 1997 once you see what they've done?
This is fucking gold compared to that piece of crap.
That was a pretty bad movie. I think the proof that it's a bad movie would be that at the end they tacked on that weird sequence where it was a lot like Aliens.
Yeah, the hatching egg, which he thought was funny. And, oh, this is a cool callback to an actual good movie, but no one cared.
He didn't realize that people had made so many bad alien movies already by that point that no one cared.
Yeah, people really stopped caring after Aliens 3.
When they send us their xenomorphs, they're not sending their best anymore. They're not sending the Predator. I mean, they are, but he's not the Predator anymore. The last time I saw the Predator, he looked like a Klingon with like some kind of cognitive disorder, Germ.
Sort of like a green Klingon with a real bad dental job.
It
But
wasn't a
that's besides
fantastic dental job.
yeah. We got
We have the
2000.
best banter while the movie spins up.
Yeah, Godzilla versus Megaguirus from 2000. We are watching this thanks to Tubi, which is the only good copy of this movie I could find on the damned internet.
I heard Tubi got bought by Roku, which got bought by Fox.
I have no idea.
I thought Roku stood for Republic of Korea Unit.
That's what I thought too. This because the thing acts like it's on a damn communist party.
You know what's great is every party here at Gracie Mansion in New York is a communist party.
And unfortunately, I don't think they ever did make a dubbed version of this movie. It did so poorly, they never really bothered.
I'm still black screened. Have you started this bastard yet?
It should be working.
It's black screened even on my Cosme.
Oh.
Standing to here comes Orga phase 2.
Oh. I know why.
I see an image now. It's an image of static, I believe, or Godzilla's skin, or a forest from well above it.
Yeah, unfortunately,
now we see
I know what I did.
Desktop. You don't want us to see that. You have weirder shit in your desk than me. Sir, Steam is better. Way to go. You might want to clip that part later. Oh, wait, it's on Cosme. No.
Yeah, no one really pays attention to Cosme. I've seen some real shit they do on Cosme and no one gives a shit.
Well, I mean, there is someone who sometimes does go to the theater who would have tried to clip it and do the worst they could figure out how to do with it. But as we can see, they're not in the theater right now. That was stunning the day that he turned up in the theater. Excuse me?
I was stupid and I was using the app to try to show this.
Okay, we're going to have a video for you in a moment, ladies and gentlemen, but please enjoy these seals swimming in their own feces. Isn't it weird when every once in a while you see a chunk of seal shit float by and you're like, God, they live in this toilet. You think they ever let a shark loose in there to, keep the seals, feeling fit? Also, how fun would it be to throw hand grenades into this tank?
Oh, that would be quite interesting to at least get the seals moving.
You got to figure they'll sink to the bottom, so the seals will be safe. So, Jerem, have you had any people surging across the border due to the workfare changes in Canada, or are you south of a different? What province are you south of? Hoboistan?
Unfortunately, British Columbia.
They try to make it sound like a place worth living by throwing the British in front, right? It's like Corinthian leather, British Columbia. Hello, Outlaw Bill. Right. We're trying on this movie, Outlaw.
Let's see if this place works.
We're going to try. we're putting forth quite the effort, sirs and madams. Looks like it's just sirs, but you know what? Like somebody might watch later and be feeling mad, or someone might just decide to change their pronouns. You're allowed to do that now, Germ.
Oh yeah, in my state it's almost mandatory.
Let me ask you a question. In the 3 years that we've known each other, every time we've discussed current events, the Trump to Baldwin ratio has remained completely inconsistent in the fact that it is always the same. Like you just never know, right?
I think that's half of the idea.
It's not 50-50 though, right? It's like you just never know. Like there's been times when it's just come up Trump like 10 times in a row. It's hard to get 10 straight Baldwins because he's such an asshole. But I think I've gone like 5 and 5 a few times, right?
Yeah. This does not want to work.
Does anyone find it funny when Admiral Teague does these shows with his glasses on rather than his contact lenses? And you can see that I have like progressive lenses and I can't read or see very well at all. Like I'm like it's like the Hans J. Moleman show on Saturdays when I'm trying to read. It's like I want to thank. It's like at least I thank people and at least I read it. But like it's like I rewatched the show to chapter it. I am like Mr. Magoob. It's fucking funny. If I ever had a rivalry with myself, I would drop my glasses around my neck so that I wouldn't be able to get out of bed. What do you think of that one?
That would be unique. Okay. Right here. Didn't want to use this one, but
I think the most shocking thing we found out on Saturday was that we needed AI to figure out which plane was going where and why which plane was pulled down. That was interesting, right? I think we all found out that we didn't know what was going on with that story. It happened so fast and they never really cleared up what was going on. While it was pointed out it was not our business, that is true, but doesn't it become our business a few months from now when it's no longer operational security, right? Like they have to tell us.
Maybe somewhere around 2050.
You're talking about the president who told us that day one we would have all the Epstein information in the JFK files. I mean, I think you're selling him short on what he's going to do.
Well, you got to go off of government time.
Did you find yourself at the drugstore buying aspirin so that you could get that one the weird Google survey you get anytime you go to any pharmacy, and two, you're $1,500 back on the aspirin? Oh, here we go.
Okay, hopefully that is actually working.
It looks pretty damn good, to be honest with you, sir. Yeah, we have motion and picture. All right, guys, contact.
Hallelujah.
Welcome to one of the most weird and enjoyable pre-shows yet, where we got real weird, didn't we?
Yeah, pretty weird. But at least we filled the time.
You know what my advice to you would be? When the show's when you're done, take that and upload it as an upload of just us talking.
Yeah, I'll see about doing that. Now have fun with the home run derby, buddy.
They sell the best recreational biologies across the street from me. It sounds like Japanese. This is so good.
Let's see.
Put it on in Klingon.
American subtitles.
Put it on in Klingon so we can hear it the way it was intended to be heard. There we go. once they don't these people realize that there's no such thing as Japanese? I've seen this video before. Why are we opening up with stuff from the last movie? Whoa.
Yeah, this is they trashed the perfectly good Godzilla from 2000, the Godzilla 2000, and they got a brand new one for this one.
That looks just like Japan's parliament. Check out that woke woman. She's as angry as that gay man. Dude, that guy's in Godzilla -1. That old fossil? I think he's one of the scientists. Earth, wind, fire. Where have I heard that before?
I think they had a one-hit wonder back in the day. To translate, Godzilla made them afraid of nuclear power. They tried alternatives and
Enjoy the
ran
home
into
run
the
derby,
old
buddy.
problem that none of that shit works.
Who do you think will win this year's home run derby, Jerm?
There's not a Mariner in the home run derby, so I don't give a fuck.
I believe John Olerud's on the call. Does that count?
Well, if he can pick up a bat, that would matter.
No, I think he's calling it.
Yeah, he's a guest on the home run derby, but I don't really care for the home run derby this year.
He was one of the least memorable Mets anyway. What was he, a Mariner, a Blue Jay, and a Met? Was that his baseball career?
Not in that order.
I think it was Blue Jay, Met, Mariner, right?
Met, Blue Jay, Mariner.
No, he was a Met last or in the middle. He doesn't start as a Met.
I know he retired as a Mariner.
That I think it was going back to the place where he had spent the most time, but it wasn't a return. I don't know if it was a return home. He may have come up as a Mariner, played like less than like a season.
He didn't come up. We got him from the Blue Jays.
He had already played Major League Ball when you got him though, or
yeah.
Okay, we're talking like a dozen games though, or how do you play a season?
Few years.
Okay,
we got him at the back.
He was already John Olerud.
Yeah,
he was John Olerud already. He was the only person in New York to use plastic at will and not get shit for it. It was kind of a weak excuse that he would die if he didn't wear it, but we let it slide. Boy, this Godzilla looks like shit.
Yeah, they kind of
fucked up his face.
The costume. They had the great idea that we'd fill it in with CGI.
And what happened? The CGI money never came through?
This money didn't really come through, but their ability to fill it in was overestimated.
So what are you saying? There is some tastefully done CGI we can't see. It's just not helping.
Yeah,
like it's not standing. It's not jumping off the screen as bad CGI, but it's not working. You have to remember this one. That's a very interesting and very specific kind of CGI fail where it works, but it doesn't pull off what it was intended to do. Like you can't detect the CGI, and I can't. But it's not helping this piece of shit. Oh my God. That is a terrible visualization of the back of the costume. And why the hell? Where are my radio-controlled tanks? Why is all we can afford four soldiers with three soldiers with three Stinger missiles? We couldn't even be bothered to send all men.
That was one of the bad CGI shots.
The people getting knocked into the.
The getting knocked down and the tail kind of dropping off screen.
You caught that because they managed to distract me with the flying person. So I guess they were self-aware that the CGI was bad, but like if you know what to look for, it's his face sucks, huh? They've been dealing with this fucking thing for 70 years at this point. They don't know that this won't work. Tanks don't work. Why would a bazooka? Usually in a Godzilla movie, we have a time crunch that explains why our weapons aren't going to be so great, and we have to run up to it with a bazooka. In this movie, we just start and shit's happening out of nowhere, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
And he just died for that bitch, huh?
Hey, he's lucky he doesn't have to stick around for the rest of it.
Yeah, but think about how much he's going to complain to the next guy about him. She's probably never nice to him.
It's not his problem.
Not anymore, but she's going to act
the
like
next guy's.
She's going to act like they had like a great sex relationship and like a great life together when she's like probably like friend zoned him real early. You know what I mean? And she's no Linda Park. She's all right, but she's not as beautiful as Linda Park by any long stretch. Who is, though, I guess, right? Geez, you know what I saw on Queens Boulevard today, Jerm?
Homeless man begging for change.
Not on Queens Boulevard. They'll shove them off of that. No, I saw a guy drive by and the tire flew right off his car. Looked like the bolt sheared right off.
Yeah, that's known to happen on those foreign models.
What was weird was you should have seen the rim. It looked like shit. You know what I mean? Like you could tell. It was all twisted and it had like metal scrapes on it, as one would expect, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what you get for driving it for 10 years without actually doing any maintenance.
Yeah, what can I tell you? Just hurrying to go pay a. I think they, Ma'am Dammy kept the congestion pricing. I just don't know. All I can tell you is they're doing a lot of things we couldn't do in American movies, like showing the Major League Baseball logo. Major League Baseball does not endorse this movie and did not get paid for their logo.
Hey, Dan.
Hi, Dan. Do you think what happens is when the movie comes out in America, someone has to pay a small fee? Or does
I
the
don't think
Japanese
this movie got a
copyright
lot
move
of.
up?
I don't think a lot of people actually showed this movie in Japan or in the US.
Are you saying that it tested so poorly it went right to video or something?
I remember seeing it once on, I believe it was AMC.
This movie is so confused. He's wearing a Giants jersey and a Cubs hat. Now, I don't know much about Japan, but I know that they're total baseball fanatics. They would never get shit like that wrong. Don't go with them. They're the people from V. Oh, he's wearing the Negro League shirt of the Grays.
They just got a lot of random baseball stuff for the guy to wear.
At least he's not wearing clashing, teams. You know what I mean? Like two opposing major league teams.
Yeah,
Who
that
look
would be embarrassing.
well? Who looks dumber than the people at the Yankee Met game who wear like the Yankee hat and the Met shirt? You know what I mean? Because they're like both. When the Yankees play the Mets, I'm a Yankee fan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure. Let's see if we got a good one next week.
Oh, let's face it. If you lived in New York, you'd be a huge Yankee fan and you'd be a dick about it.
If I lived in New York, I would move.
There's not enough room in my apartment, but I mean, yeah, we could start seeing each other. What are you talking about?
You
Can't
couldn't
come
pay
here.
me to be in New York. It's like I have a moratorium on traveling to California unless I'm traveling there for uh, liberation purposes.
Let me ask you this. What would you do to rewind the clock of communism 35 years on your state?
It's sort of like, would you kill Hitler in the crib?
Yeah, well, we're like 35 years behind you, and Mamdami's losing popularity pretty quick. Apparently, he ran. So he was the source of this guy. Now, I just don't really approve of the guy. I didn't like him from the get go. But some guy named Ken Plankton who ran for Senate in I think it's Vermont or Maine. He was from Maine. Have you heard of this guy? This ginger headed Nazi.
Yeah, apparently he wasn't good enough for the party of ginger-headed Nazis. Now they're picking his replacement in a back room with only a handful of people.
Well, that's the American tradition, right?
Hey, it's how they picked their last three presidential candidates.
And how they picked every single senator until I was like 5 years old. Direct election of senators is like 1972, post Watergate stuff. How did they decide who would run and when? Right? Like what? When does your term end if no one can vote for you and you just get appointed into office?
Usually it was held by the state assembly. I know most states, the governor would force a nominee for the election, and then both the state house and the state senate would vote on it, and usually he just got pencil whipped through.
Good old days, right?
It actually worked a lot better than the crap they have now.
Well, I mean, I certainly would like anybody but the people of New York to choose our senators. They both suck. You're a big fan of your senators and governor, though. It worked out for you. I see you tweeting to them all the time.
Yeah, I'm surprised
Someone
that
named
doesn't
Patty
delete
Murray
some of
has
those
an
tweets.
order of protection against you, I think.
Yeah.
My co-host, ladies and gentlemen, has his own Secret Service detail. They're not protecting him, though.
No, I don't think if I actually met them, it'd be too good.
For you.
I'm sure I'd put up a good fight.
Tried to make it clear that there was no big deal, but okay. This movie, they're just speaking words, man.
No,
This
that's
plot is
okay because
crazy.
it doesn't really line up.
Or makes sense. Their plan within the movie doesn't make sense. But if I was making a King of the Hill movie this year, I would have wanted that kid to play Joseph. What do you think?
They wouldn't do too bad. What the hell sense does a black hole gun make?
I guess the idea is he'll get sucked into the black hole, which only lasts 85 billion years. So you just have to wait that out. And, in the meantime, you're Godzilla free. That was one of the more interesting parts of the Rumble discussion where we're like, turns out that scientists now think that black holes self-resolve. And when I asked JT the time frame, I couldn't wrap my mind around it. The only way I could wrap my mind around it was to say, so if I'm reading you right, that means in something like 25 times longer than it's been since the Big Bang, there's a shot some black holes will just self-resolve. And he's like, pretty close.
Yep.
That's insane that we have theories about stuff that have never happened and won't happen till well after we're dead.
Technically, black holes are just a theory. They're interpreting what they look through those telescopes, and half the time they're just pulling information out of their ass.
Right. For instance, there used to be something called a quasar that is now called a super dense black hole. Although we will rediscover quasars, as we know from watching Star Trek, because that's why they send out the Galileo 7. We also know that memory engrams will be rediscovered from Star Trek. That was
exactly.
When someone told me memory engrams aren't real, I was ready for that one. I said, no, they're just simply temporarily disproven. It's sort of like the electromagnetic catapult germ might exist, but steam is still better, right?
Sure. Believe what you want.
I'm going to believe the president. Part of it is because that guy's name was Raisin and he was going to believe anything that guy told him. But I would too, right?
Well, with a name like Raisin, why wouldn't
you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sir, my name is Raisin. They're going to destroy the anti-Godzilla tech after they kill Godzilla?
Yeah, sure they are.
Yeah, why wouldn't you just fire it at, Iran? I'm going to ask you a question, and you tell me yes or no.
Sure.
Lindsey Graham didn't pass away. He had help.
Oh, no, he died of a broken heart.
So you believe the aortic tear?
Hey, they told him that the love of his life was never going to recover, and he just couldn't take it.
Are you talking about Trump's polling or Grinsey Lamb?
I'm talking about the turtle.
Oh. Yeah. Well, Trump's polling is never coming back, and neither is Mitch. I don't think it matters, though. It's not like he can run for president again, though I still say he will. If he goes for it, would you vote for him for a third term?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Here's my thought. Voting for a third term is the same as voting for a fifth. You know what I mean?
Hey, it worked for FDR.
I think he's the only 7-termer, yeah. Most people think he worked out great, so we should probably do stuff like that again.
Hey, why not? Well, that looked unimpressive, but I guess the result was
There's
okay.
no denying that it destroyed that building and made that weird distortion on the horizon. Yeah, we're gonna send people into the black hole to make sure it's an actual black hole, or we're just gonna like call it a day and say we destroyed this. Great job in getting people under the age of 21 out of the area, by the way. So since we mostly do Star Trek, I guess this is where we have to say, most people assume that because they created a black hole, a creature could come through from another dimension. But we don't know that all black holes or any black holes are wormholes. We just assume it because of Star
Right.
Trek. It's the only reason people think that. We don't know.
Yeah. Species 90210 will not be coming out of that black hole.
No. You've picked that one up now too. You can't be bothered to remember the real number either, can you?
It's Voyager. I never gave a shit in the first place.
First episode did leave me really flat. I was like, they're never going to get this to be good.
Well, yeah, it's so flat they decided they had to get triple D's as the star of the show.
That's a tried and true TV method. That did work. That show ended a success.
Yeah, of course, because it became the Borg Titty Show. Every episode, 7 to 9 hanging out with Janeway, or 7 to 9 hanging out with the Doctor, or 7 to 9 talks to Tuvok. The only common thread in every episode was 7 to 9, and some new way to accentuate those extraordinarily well enhanced chest of hers.
They kept getting bigger and bigger. And one of the things that was hilarious was she's the only person I know who has like 11 different silver cat suits alone, right?
Yeah, they're all different, but they all look alike somehow.
She has like 15 to 35 cat suits in that show, but we're talking like there's at least a dozen silver ones, right?
Oh yeah, she's wearing something different almost every episode, but they look so much alike people can't tell.
Yeah, there was no reason to do it, but they did. What was the deal? They just wanted an excuse to touch her. Can we make you another outfit? Can we measure you again?
I think it's because they had to peel them off her every time.
You might be right about that. So like you're talking like they stitched her into the costume. She worked. They tore it off. She took lunch. They stitched her back into the costume. They tore it off. It was done. The thing was fucked.
Yeah, every time they take that, there's no way that thing's surviving being taken off.
I guess they had more luck with Jolene's outfits.
Well, they were a little bit more conservative with her outfits, and she is a little bit more, you're not putting me in a fucking porn suit.
I think it was the fiberglass like silhouette that got her angry.
I don't imagine that was ever comfortable.
I've used this hypothetical a million times, and you tell me this isn't what happened. After a long enough time of them doing everything they could to try to fix Jolene Blaylock so she would be pretty, someone finally had the right idea and said in the writer's room, hey, did anyone notice if Jolene came to work today? And everyone said yes immediately and started talking about what she was wearing and how hot she was. And he's like, yeah, we don't have to make her wear a fucking a body enhancing fiberglass cuirass anymore. And people were like, wow, it never occurred to me that she was already beautiful until you put it to me like that.
Well, yeah. That and around 2003 is when the whole ginormous fake tit thing kind of started falling out of fashion.
Yeah, it was a terrible time. I think what you're just saying is people got tired of sweating underneath their water bras.
Exactly.
I had a girlfriend who only wore a water bra, and like when things were getting serious, she's like telling me about it. I'm like, you don't think I already do? And she's like, I just don't want to get implants. And I looked at her for a second, and my response was, so you got explants?
I will give credit to the whole natural trend. A lot easier on the wrists.
Ah! That's pretty good.
I tell you, I blame my carpal tunnel on those damn things.
Yeah, part of my carpal tunnel can be exclusively blamed on Terry Hatcher, right?
Terry Hatcher was never that well endowed. The man could only jiggle so much without having to have wrist surgery.
They what do you call it? They had a whole Seinfeld episode about how great her cans are.
She must have gotten those after Lois and Clark. Because I don't remember her being that well in that show.
I think the deal was they got bigger after Lois and Clark, but she already had them. Her, you'll never believe what her first show was.
I know she was on TNG for like 2 episodes.
That's right. Yeah, she was a crew member
Yeah.
in at least one of them. She fucks the outrageous Okuna.
Yeah, she's in that one, and she's just like a rando background in another one, I believe.
But like, I sir, right? Like that kind of. Her
Yeah.
first show. You're never gonna believe this. She's a fucking original cast member. Think of what year the show started. The fucking Love Boat.
Oh, I can see that.
She didn't have a speaking role. Every week she
Fresh
just laid
18
by
year
the
old kid
pool.
just, yeah, just lay her out by the pool in a bikini. That's fine.
That would make her 36 by the time of Lois and Clark, which makes sense. Because then, like in Desperate Housewives, she's just about 40, which is about 5 years later. So the timeline works out. You're right. She was a lot younger than I
Yeah,
thought.
yeah, she's like 18 when she's in the Love Boat, and come Lois and Clark does only 1993.
Now, after all those commercials you and I watched earlier that were in our group chat, do you think that she probably sucks at making coffee, or do you think that because after a night with her, you're going to need some?
You need something a little bit stronger than coffee, even in her prime.
So you're saying is you wouldn't throw her out of bed for eating crackers, but she might have to throw you out of bed for smoking crack just to be able to get to the bathroom after sex.
Well, if you can shut her up, it'd be okay if you just get that ball gag and she can't talk at you.
She has an okay voice. What is it? She got some. She have a few opinions.
Yeah, she has some opinions, and she has a lot of opinions. The woman just will never shut up. But then again, my primary exposure to her is through Lois and Clark, and they had a very, very bad version of Lois in that.
Uh,
I
well,
mean,
I
she
mean,
did great in it, but
she was the
the
best looking
version of Lois
Lois.
was, yeah.
What do you mean, as far as like that Lois is a little more assertive than most and kind of a bitch?
A little more than kinda.
Was that story with her father unique to that in the animated series where her dad was like a mad scientist who made like Superman style robots?
The mad scientist is unique, I believe, to Lois and Clark.
Her
The
father's
animated
usually a
series,
soldier, right?
yeah, he's usually a general.
I didn't ask you what he was generally. I asked you what he was specifically, but on Bob. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought that I was confused enough that I was like, are they trying to pass Chris Maloney off as like the father in this Superman movie? Because and I'm like, because he's the same age as her. What's the deal?
It's a little graphic for a Godzilla movie.
I agree.
Somehow, the live action pictures of Tokyo really don't do this very good. Just doesn't look like unless it's a diorama.
You know, I got to agree with you. Like, it kills the anticipation because you know they're not going to destroy real Tokyo. Not at least until the last Godzilla movie, so they can do it with a lot of style.
Sure, make the kid feel better for not killing three people. One ugly bug.
It really is. Cockroaches sucks. I mean, this is his worst opponent. Biology is a badass compared to this thing. Sure, and where's biology when we need him?
By this point, happily forgotten. This is only 11 years after Biolante.
I'm sorry, I thought it was biology. Is he Italian or Spanish?
It, technically Indonesian.
All right. Well, as you know, this is the night that if you dress as a member of KISS, you get a bottomless mug of beer at the bar up the street. So just finishing off my Ace Frehley makeup.
Ah.
I mean, would you miss that promo? You don't drink,
Sounds
but
like
you
a
would
good
still
promo.
go. What's that? That is one of their better fake planes. I'll give them that. You would never miss that promo, would you?
It is a good promo.
You don't even drink, you would still go.
Hey, it's a good deal.
It'll cost you and me the same amount to go out drinking that night. Which KISS member do you think you'll go? Paul the Lover, Gene the Demon, Peter the Cat, Ace from space?
The cat is the easiest paint job.
It is the easiest paint job. He was smart. He was like, I'm in back by the drums. I don't need to wear full kabuki makeup. I'm thinking Gene has the hardest makeup, but he's also the ugliest one. So I think there's a connection, right?
Well, yeah, the more the makeup, the more you gotta cover up.
It's still hard to believe he dated Smoking Hot Cher, isn't it? Like, seriously, how do you pull that off? And he's in an episode of Miami Vice. When Gene shows up as the cocaine dealer, like your case that you're not trying to glamorize drugs goes out the window. Right? Am I right?
Yeah.
I like her Gundam helmet. Whoa. Yeah, there's some more bad CGI, huh? Terrible.
Yeah, really wasn't a good idea to try to combine live action and CGI in the early 2000s.
At least not using early 90s CGI. This looks like a Tiny Bowl commercial. All right. I hate to be a dick. This is not a non-endorsement, but I do have to run. Whoa.
Some of these shots are just embarrassing.
Yeah. Although at least he's swimming serpentine like he's supposed to. It's like they got one thing right. In what looked like a pure CGI shot that was at least from so far away that it looked real enough.
They got all the details right. It's just the execution. The technology really isn't doing them any favors.
At some point, there's going to be a scene here where he looks great, and that would be the one that they did first and ran out of money. You know what I mean? Like, I think they tried something and it didn't work, and she's an idiot. But I got to split, so I'm sorry. I'll talk to you soon.
Actually, they had $11 million to make this.
That's like 10 times more than Godzilla -1. Oh wait, that was 40 million bucks, right? 40 or 50 million.
That was like 25 million.
It was something obscene. That's what great idea. Okay, I hope it's a tracking device. All right, buddy. It's good to see you and everybody else. Sci-Fi Sith Dad. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm sorry I couldn't stay longer.
Yeah.
I was here for the awkward silence though, right?
Yeah, you helped fill the awkward silence.
All right. Now I'm gonna go. It's It's a hetero bar. I wanna stress that. I may be dressed as a woman, but I'm going to a hetero bar. Dressed as a
Good
member of
luck
KISS
with that.
counts as dressed as well. I mean, dressed as a member of KISS counts as dressed as a woman, doesn't it? I mean, I have no illusions here.
Close enough. Well, depending on which member you're dressed as.
Like I said, I always dress as Gene. I mean, I always dress as Ace. All right, good to talk to you, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Are you around tomorrow?
What's that?
You're around tomorrow? I don't know if I am. Are you?
I should be.
All right. Let's see what happens with this one. Might be a little later. 8:00 worked real good.
Yeah.
All
Definitely a
right,
better
buddy.
time.
All right, buddy. Yeah, 7:30 was pushing it. People aren't home from work yet in Cali.
No.
At 8:00, they're still not exactly home, but it's a little more where it should be. All right, man. Bye, everybody.
Oh, we get B-roll of actual NASA rocket. Prehistoric dragonfly. For some reason, very big. Great explanation. Oh, God, that is a horrible shot. I think Sci-Fi Channel was doing better at the time. And I'm sorry about the noise of all the children outside. I would mute and yell at them, but really, it's a distraction to just how bad the CGI is in this movie. I'd like to tell you it gets better next week, but next week, unfortunately, we have giant monsters all out attack, and that King Ghidorah's only face turn. I guess the sub drone is nice. A diorama in a swimming pool looks okay. It's better than the CGI. The rendering is atrocious. Whatever they used to render this movie, they needed to upgrade. He has a desktop girl. How Japanese of him. Sometimes these graphics just hurt. Yeah, we finally get atomic breath, at least. Ugh. They got a serious bug problem. And more blood in a Godzilla movie. Yep, here comes the space gun. And now Godzilla gets nipped at by a bunch of CGI creeps. They can't even make real ones to cling on to them. Do they think it actually killed them? Barely a scratch. Productive phone call. Yeah, that's what they always say. I can't tell you how much I am unimpressed by the CGI in this movie. Oh, we got some bubbling. Looking a lot like Petra. That is definitely the front end of Petra. At least they don't try to blow anything up with CGI. He lived. Too bad. Yeah, stay in bed because your black hole gun didn't work and now you're going to be the fall guy. Even the lasers for that ship look cheesy. Okay, finally get a monster fight. One hour and 30 minutes in. Oh, great. You're going to try it again. Yeah, this new Godzilla just doesn't have good aim. Yeah, the little black hole gun is broken. Oof. This is the worst combination of CGI and practical effects I have ever seen. Unfortunately, he ignored him. Now Godzilla's doing samurai charges. At least he has a few unique moves now. Strong body slam. Godzilla's in a full sprint. They did okay on the music for this one. I'll give them that much. Right in the eye. Hey, he caught it. And he finally lands the kill shot. And Godzilla wins. Now he gets to tear up some buildings. Well, at least he finished off one building. They really need to integrate both monsters into this end. I would translate, but I'm pretty sure this plan is straightforward. Great job. They did more damage than Godzilla. And all it took was the ugliest looking tech that you've ever furnished against them. Damn, not over. Ouch. Thank God that's over. That was the worst filmed Godzilla movie I've ever seen. Well, worst actual Godzilla filmed movie I've ever seen. But they're going to take another crack at it next week with Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. Giant monsters all out attack. Yes, the Hydra has a face turn. Thanks for being here, everybody. We'll see you next week.